but we are going to roads. Very important because we can't stay in a community where we have deplorable roads. Every time it's holiday and I'm driving to work, I'm excited because there isn't traffic. And you can less people on the road.
Get to work in the shortest possible time.
And just have this at the back of your mind that you are battling with traffic.
Yeah.
That is gridlock. And your roads are bad from your area before you get to the main road. No. You can't keep battling with that. So it makes life very difficult when you have deplorable roads and also you are stuck in traffic for a very long time.
The issues of roads affect our day-to-day activities largely because even from, your health. Because imagine driving or transporting yourself on a deplorable road. For some reasons, maybe you are traveling for a business or let me just use our market traders, for example. When they are going outside Accra to bring goods from all sorts of, all the other regions to bring down here to sell, they travel long distances, sitting in cars for hours on very terrible roads. They come back complaining of waist pain, backache, swelling feet, amongst other things. The stress that it puts you through mentally and all of that is not spoken about. Then the effect on the drivers and their vehicles, maintenance, cost of spare parts, and all of that. Look, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot.
Let's bring you a report from Afiaman. Afiaman residents in Accra here, they are suffering because of the bad nature of their roads. Sarah Apia from the City News should file this report.
For residents of Afiaman, rainfall brings more distress than relief. The deplorable condition of their road turns daily commuting into a difficult ordeal. Many residents told ChannelOne News they feel abandoned by successive governments who have failed to fix the road. Patricia Ofosusapon, a resident and trader, says each downpour floods her home with red mud, making life unbearable.
Two, since you also Antona say in Futroka say, "Wa, can't never fast wa, Futroba boy, but Tranfitanopa, because I asanya, and I said that they are pitegu. Say, a duano pana say, would jarren out the Ibia. You are Sumana say, you winima. In Futra Behunu, and yet."
Even on dry days, the community is plagued by clouds of dust. For food vendors like Helena Kobina, the dust drives away customers and poses health risks.
Cause of dust, no. Do a better dust, no cast, no chum, some foot rope, especially I can see no. And the Dianu say it on to foot road to come home complain, say, foot road no doors.
Drivers also suffer the consequences of the untarred road, which is riddled with potholes and uneven surfaces. Many say they are forced to spend significant sums on vehicle repairs. They question the point of paying taxes when basic infrastructure remains unattended.
It's a quantum zomba by my wine, you won't see a wapa. What a wire is so talk, Cacrabio, and a choir. As they be an acquaintance to chat income tax, a chat insurance, a chat road wedding, it's animation and for so also. For so and so.
Overseas ends, what's it sound break bands or time so best say? It's a candy baby, mammy. Who's a casting baby assessor, Sequanso? Nina, a quan man.
Homes and businesses along the road, including the palace of the chief of Afiaman, Ni Afia III, are coated in red dust. While ChannelOne News was on its way to interview the chief, we met Richard, a resident who has lost hope in seeing the road ever fixed.
This road, it won't go anywhere. It won't go anywhere, whether MPP and DC. They won't fix it. We've had demonstration more than 5-6 times on this road, but it's still safe.
The chief of Afiaman, Ni Afia III, described the government's unfulfilled promises as disheartening and called for immediate intervention.
When the previous government was there, we went to Usanim, and he was the MP for this area. We went and delivered our grievances to him about the roads, and they made us aware that the government has approved the road for us and they are on it. But for almost 4 years of being met, there's nothing done about it. We are praying that this current government will come into our aid to rectify or complete our road for us.
Pregnant women in particular are at great risk when using the road during labor. Daniel Kwame Simpri shared his harrowing experience of transporting his wife on the rough terrain during childbirth.
She was pregnant, so I have to take her to the hospital at Ofanko barrier. In fact, it was very terrible because it was during the rainy season time. The road, I tell you, it's just like, I don't know how to describe it. Manhole or pothole or whatever hole.
So this is the nature of the road at Afiama in the Greater Accra region. But let's go to Kanvili, Kpawumo in the northern region and bring you a very deplorable, or a report on a very deplorable road there.
Heavy downpour in Tamale have exposed the fragility of infrastructure in the Kanvili Kpawumo area. A section of the main access road, constructed just 2 months ago, has been washed away, leaving residents worried about accessibility and safety. The rains have also overwhelmed poorly constructed drainage systems, which locals describe as inadequate for managing stormwater. According to the Ghana Meteorological Agency, this year's rainy season is expected to begin early and bring more intense rainfall, deepening fears of flooding and isolation among residents.
When we saw this road, we were happy, actually. But unfortunately, just the last 2 rains that came, we realized that there were so many problems with the road. One of it is that the bridges are very low and very narrow, and the water couldn't pass. So part of it has been washed, part of the road has been washed off.
In fact, this road made life easy for us these days, but now it's coming to rain, and this rain too has just come. It has distracted everything.
One resident who declined to be named was seen relocating her belongings, citing the deteriorating road and the absence of alternative routes.
When it rains, it gets worse than this actually. The children even swim. They do diving competition over here. It's that bad. And then we had the rain takes away like all the stuff, as you can tell. It's very bad. That's why I'm leaving, because you can't move in or out. Down there it gets worse. It's more marsh down there.
Mothers in the area expressed deep concern about the safety of their children, particularly the dangers posed by open drains and fast-moving waters.
I have a daughter who is just 4 years old. She going through and seeing all this is heartbreaking. One time ago, the water nearly even took us away, because this is the only place I have in Tamale. So imagine it rains like this and the road is this bad. How do I get home? So really plead that they come and do something for us.
It's not easy. Where your mind will not be settled until you know that your children are home safely, because water and life is not smart. And you know, children, when they see water like they want to enter and see.
Last year, if you had come here, you would be really surprised how, especially the main bridge there, the water was able to cover the whole bridge, and then people could not cross from this side to the other side. However, this is the only main road for the residents of this area. So the other road to the other junction is very bad, very poor.
Calls are growing for authorities to construct a more efficient drainage system, especially around the Gariba Lodge area.
You can see how it enters people's houses. For that place there, all the time that it rains, heavy rain, unless they pack and go out before they come out. So we are facing a lot of problems here.
So that is Kanvili, Kpawumo in the Tamale North constituency of the Northern region. This is a very bizarre situation. We are having on the lines the MP for the area, that is Tamale North, and also Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, Al-Hassan Suinin. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning.
I trust you are doing well.
Alhamdulillah, I'm terrific. Thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers.
Thank you for joining us on this show. First of all, have you seen this Kanvili Kpawumo road in recent times?
Yes, I try to be in my constituency every other week, so I am aware of the nature of that road.
What we have seen on TV is that the road is deplorable. That is what we can see. But in your words, what will be the description you give to this road?
Well, I think it's worse than deplorable. It is something that has been of concern to me since 2015. It is a reason why I convened the NDC at the time, even before I became a member of parliament, to prioritize the construction of that stretch of roads. And as a result, it was put on the enhanced road project that the government was embarking on at the time. And we decided to start dealing with the community roads using the third ring road as a point of opening up the area to enable us to improve the road infrastructure in the whole area. Unfortunately, that project was suspended after the NDC lost power, and it took a lot of back and forth, including questions on the floor of parliament and engagement that are facilitated between the traditional leaders in the area and the then road minister for portions of the road to be re-awarded to a new contractor. Unfortunately, that contractor over the last 8 years have performed very poorly, very, very poorly. And as a result, as Member of Parliament and now Deputy Minister of Roads, we, ensured that after a stock taking of the roads across the country, including that one, that some of these contractors that have not performed very well had their jobs, terminated. And we are currently undergoing a process of repackaging them and re-awarding them to contractors that we believe have the capacity and the commitment to finish them.
Honorable, we understand the road was constructed some 2 months ago, but 2 months down the line, the road is almost as though it wasn't even done. What went wrong?
Clearly, like I said, the contractor performance has been very deplorable. I mean, what happened was that for a job that should have lasted less than 2 years, it took the contractor over 8 years, and he did it very, very, intermittently. And I think he had done the first ceiling, and unfortunately, he did it not for any commitment, and it's shoddy work. That is what it is. It's shoddy work that happened.
Interesting.
There is a drain attached to this road. What is the plan for the drain, or is it in the entire repackaging or restructuring you are going to put up on that road?
Yes, it's all part of the considerations that we are making. The last time the minister and myself, together with the technical directors, were in town, we stopped at the Garba Lodge to look at the main drain that takes a chunk of the water from almost the entire Greater Tamale, and that usually spills over to cause the destruction that you see in the Kpawumo area. So apart from doing the roads, there is also the intention to work on the drains as well, especially the major storm drain from the Garba Lodge area all the way to Taha.
Honorable, also in the report we watched, which was filed by our reporter, one of the residents mentioned that she and her little 4-year-old girl almost drowned one of the days when there was heavy downpour. Now, while communications or talks are ongoing to have the road fixed and situations fixed, in the interim, what are the plans for the residents and the constituents?
Well, we thank God that their lives were spared. I do know that somewhere in 2018, 2019, unfortunately, that same drain claimed the life of a young woman who was one of the celebrated teachers in the region. She happened to be the schoolmate or classmate of the then vice president, and I recall even at her funeral, the then vice president promised to ensure that the drain was fixed. Unfortunately, I think it could not materialize. So we thank God that the life of this young mother and the child were saved. So it is a threat that is real. And what I know the Works and Housing Ministry is also doing in the interim is to distill some of those drains. The minister understands it even in the region currently. And I'm sure that, his attention, I have drawn his attention to it already. I'm sure that if he finds time, he may also even look at it. So we, on our part, are also going to undertake a number of maintenance works this year, and regraveling, reshaping, and some of these drains will also be considered for desilting.
So as talks are ongoing, and also with the regraveling and the reshaping and all that, is there any timeline attached to this?
What I can assure the people of Kanvili Kpawumo is that I am as sleepless over that matter as they are, and whatever we can do within our capacity to bring relief to them and to improve the economic viability of the community, we will do within the very, very shortest possible time.
All right, Honorable, also we understand that largely parts of Kanvili is a flood-prone or are flood-prone areas. Now, the rains are here. People are going to be suffering from the rains and the aftermath and all of that. What is the engineering conversation, or what is going to be done in the long run so that after the road and the drain is constructed, the areas that are flood prone will not be affected or will not be experiencing flood when the rains come down heavily?
Yes, our faith-based people will tell you that, well, let me say the literature people will tell you Rome was not built in a day. But faith-based people will tell you that even God did not create the world in one day. He did that in a number of days. And so the plan to improve the community is being worked on. And we cannot do that before the rainy season, unfortunately. We cannot solve the problems that people have faced, who have been faced with over the years within this period that we have just taken over. But what I am assuring them is that with God on our side, with their support and prayers, within the very shortest possible time, and with the opportunity that we have now, we will make sure that we use that opportunity to improve the situation and to resolve the problem, so that we can all get out of this problem. But I have to be very realistic to say that we cannot do tremendous transformation before this impending rainy season. But whatever ameliorative measures that we have already been using over the years to limit the impact of the flood, we will do that. In fact, it's not only Kanvili. Gumani is even most affected when the floods come in, because sometimes it washes from Kanvili into Gumani. So it affects and causes destruction in Kanvili, and then it collects at Gumani and causes more destruction. Then sometimes it moves towards the Fo area, towards the Taha area, even cutting off roads there. I mean, so these are things we are aware of, and by God's grace, with the opportunity that we have, we'll try and resolve the problem.
Your constituents are watching. Are there other roads within your constituency that you will pay attention to as the Deputy Roads Minister and the Member of Parliament for the area?
Well, I can assure them that His Excellency President Mahama, together with my minister, are prioritizing some of the very key roads in the greater Tamale area, not only in my constituency. So you would have heard the minister speak of the outer ring roads that are considered to be done across the country. Tamale is going to benefit from the phase 1. And we have, the third ring road in sharp focus. We are going to do asphaltic overlay, a dual carriage road from, if you like, the Viting barrier all the way through to Boile, otherwise known as Medina, through to Kanvili, Kpawumo, then to Kanvili, to Naile, then to Kanvili, then to Jiso Naile, all the way to Gurugu. and it is going to be advertised in the next few days. Either by tomorrow or Monday, you will see the adverts in the dailies, and this will ensure that we improve the road network, not just in my constituency, but in the greater Tamale. But yes, my constituency is one of the constituencies that will benefit greatly from this work. We also intend to complete the second ring road, and so we are going to take it from the Smith Flats Junction all the way to the Agric traffic light. People who know that area know how important that road is also to the motoring public. We also intend to do some rehabilitation of the Ward K road. We will do the Kanvili roads, the inner community roads are also going to be advertised by next week. We'll do the full Balahi main road, the road that leads to the Oli landfill site in Tamale. We will be advertising that also in the coming days. We also ensure that the Jena, Balahi to Jena road is also going to be advertised for consideration. So the greater Tamale will benefit from the big push infrastructure project that His Excellency President Mahama is championing. And we all just pray that we will continue to enjoy the support and prayers of the very good people of the Tamale metropolis.
It's obvious that the greater Tamale is going to benefit from the road project. One key thing is shoddy work, and what we have seen, and you have termed that for 2 months ago that the road was constructed, that is the Kanvili one, has gone bad. What is the measures, or what are the measures you are going to put in place to ensure that road contractors that will be giving or awarded these contracts will do a good job?
There will be strict compliance, and my minister is a no-nonsense man, and he will not tolerate any shoddy work from any contractor. And he has been sending out the warning to all contractors who will be taking up jobs at the ministry.
So with that, any contractor who do not match up with the quality or the standards, what happens to him or her?
Well, the contract will simply be terminated, and other remedial measures, if available in the contract terms, will be activated.
Honorable, finally from you, your constituents are watching. Final words from you to them concerning the roads and this particular road.
I just want to thank them for their continuous support and prayers, and I hope and pray that we will those of us on the government side and those of them who are expecting us to deliver to their satisfaction will cultivate patience with each other, and within the very shortest possible time, I'm sure that they will begin to see the impact that some of our interventions will make in their lives and in our communities.
Thank you so much, sir. Honorable Al-Hassan Suini is the MP for Tamale North, and also the Deputy Roads and Highways Minister. He spoke to us extensively on the road condition in the Tamale North constituency. Went on to talk about the greater Tamale proper, because we are touching on the Kanvili Kpawumo road, which is very deplorable. We understand just within 2 months of its construction has gone bad, and this tells you that if measures are not put in place to check what contractors are doing, we would have a lot of roads going bad. Recently, the roads minister spoke at an event at Ghana Institution of Surveyors, and he made mention that we are hinting to paying about 100 billion Ghana cedis just for road contractors. Yes, because we owe them 20 billion Ghana cedis already. And also, in terms of interest on delayed payment, we are getting close to like 60 billion for roads that we are not seeing. But our regional correspondent, Northern Regional Correspondent, the lady who filed this report is joining us, Shawana Yusuf. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Philip.
I trust you are doing well.
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
We are also doing well. You visited this place, the Kanvili area, to file this report. What more can you tell us about this road? Because from where we sit, we will see it on our screens and we will see the videos. But narrate or describe the road proper for us.
Okay, thank you, Philip. Before, let's say some 3 months ago, this road was actually non-existent. It was just a dusty road that contractors were on site trying to fix even before the December general elections. And after the election, work stalled and until they resumed some um, 2 months ago and then finished it up. But the issue is that the people in the area actually saw this as a welcoming thing for them because having the only access road to their area tarred and some drains being constructed for them, they thought was a good thing and it will relieve them of their previous sufferings, most especially during the rainy season. Apparently, it was nothing to write home about because just with the first, second rain, and everything was exposed. Like Honorable rightly mentioned, the shoddy nature of the work was exposed because a road that has been tarred for just less than 2 months, let's even say 2 months, and with just first, second rainfall, the road is already washing off. The bridges are breaking. The storm drains, all the structures putting everything together is breaking off. That actually is an issue for concern. And that actually broke the hearts of residents in the community. Fortunately, the very day I went there to file this particular report, I met a lady who had packed her whole belongings in her room. You could see her sofa, you could see her bed, and everything at the back of a pickup truck, and then they were just driving through. She spoke to me, but on condition of anonymity. This is just the residents who stayed there for less than a year. And last year, because we didn't really experience heavy rainfalls, I think it didn't really expose most of these things. But those who have stayed long in the area tells us that this has been the norm even before the coming into existence of the road, and they've been suffering. It used to even be more than this. The road didn't even come to make anything better. It rather came to worsen their plight. You could see that somebody's plot over there was flooded, and this same flood was now getting into the homes of residents living close to this drain because it couldn't get the right route to flow through. So if you go to Kanvili, Kpawumo, and a lot of other areas within the Tamale North constituency and also Sanarugu area, it's actually a serious issue when it comes to lack of drainage, lack of proper road network, and the sufferings of citizens who live in these particular area who have been calling for help for only God knows how long. They are looking forward to a favorable response within this Mahama administration, most especially having their Member of Parliament, Honorable Soyini, being the Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways. Philip, let me take you back to the Garba Lodge storm drain. That is a big storm drain that we have in Tamale. It is one of the popular storm drains we have in Tamale because it claimed the life of a very respected Hajia some 7 years ago. And there were promises in the previous administration to ensure that they actually work on this storm drain and put it into good shape. This was just an innocent mother who was driving to go pick her ward from school on a rainy day. And unfortunately, when she got there, the place was flooded to the extent that the flood carried her vehicle along and she was stuck in there in the middle of the water with no help coming. And that was how Asia lost her life to this particular disturbing incident. And what community members are scared of is this. If you have a storm drain that is as big as, let's say, 3 storm drains or 4, 5 storm drains put together at Gariba Lodge, and this is the same water that flows through Gariba Lodge to Kanvili, Kpawumo, and you come and give us just 1 storm drain to contain the flows that is coming from Gariba Lodge, it is highly impossible. I am not a technical person, But from a layman's perspective, it is not possible to pour, say, something that is running through four storm drains and expect it to go through just one. This has been the concerns that were expressed by residents when we visited their community. They are calling for an urgent intervention before the rain sets in seriously. Meteo is already telling us that this year we should expect heavy rainfalls, and their fear is that if nothing is done before then the sufferings they experienced in the past is most likely to double or even quadruple in the coming days should the rain set in full gear.
Shawana, you spoke about flooding in Kanvili and some parts of the northern region. When you engaged with some of the constituents, did you find out about how they were able to, or how they deal with the floods when they come? Because especially for those who have lived there for so many years, say 7, 6, 5 years and all of that, how do they deal and handle with the floods?
Okay, so for some of them, they just don't have an option. If you have anywhere to move to, you have to move to before the rain sets in. But most of these people tell us that that is just the house they have. It is the only place they have as their home. And if the rains are coming, and even I know the floods would come, if you tell me to move to higher grounds, I don't have anywhere like higher grounds to go to. So for some, they stay in this particular situation until the rainy season is over. Others would also, who have the opportunity to maybe go join family members, also do that. But for those who don't, they stay in there. The place gets flooded. They scoop the water out and continue living their life. It's an everyday thing for them. They don't seem to get any hope coming soon. So they are trying to adjust to the situation, which shouldn't have been the case. But for most of them, they don't have nowhere to go. This is where they call home. And this is like the young lady who said the water nearly carried herself and the 4-year-old child last year or two. She tells us this is the only home she has. She doesn't even know anybody here. It is work that brought her to Tamale. This is the only place she calls home. This is the only place she can go to sleep and wake up the next day, get to go to work and do that day in, day out. And you're telling me to move to higher grounds. I don't have any other place to go. So for those who have nowhere to go, they stay in the situation just as it is, cope with it until the rainy seasons are over. And for those who have options, which is usually not the case, they move to places where they think they can find refuge and return when the rains are over.
Now, Shawana, what's the occupation of the people living in Kanvili? I'm asking this because I would like to find out how the rains and the flood affect their businesses in general.
Well, so these are the Kanvili community, Kanvili Kpawumo community specifically. I spoke to most of them who are farmers. Some of them tell me they are farmers. You can even see some of the farmlands very close to this area where we recorded the issue of flooding. And there are other people who are business people. Others are also teachers. I mean, so we have varied people with varied occupation living in this particular area.
The Kanvili Kpawumo Road, it connects which areas? So which connecting or driving on the stretch, you're moving from one location to another location.
Another.
Which areas does the road connect?
Great. So Kanvili Kpawumo stretch takes you to Kpawumo. It can lead you to Fo. It can lead you to Taha. It can lead you to Kanvili. So if you are mentioning, we have an area specifically called Kanvili, but this particular one is Kanvili Kpawumo. But there is a link road between Kanvili Kpawumo to Kanvili. So there is also the route that goes through Kpawumo all the way to Kanvili, and to Taha, to Fo, to Kpawumo, to Snit, and in that order. And this particular area is not too far from Fo and Taha, where the Honorable Deputy Minister mentioned that they also face this issue of floods. And I think that's where his residency is. And they are hoping that so far as he finds himself in this particular office of the Roads Ministry, something will be done about their condition.
Do you find heavy-duty vehicles using the stretch?
Philip, the stretch is not good. If this stretch was really good, it makes commuting from one end to the other very easy. So like the minister mentioned,
we'll reconnect to Shawana. You see, who is our northern regional correspondent, telling us what is happening with the
link.
Okay,
This
back.
particular road was really good. If the road was really good, commuting from one end of town to the other would have been easier. People who even want to go to Bolga will not necessarily have to go through town where there is always traffic. They could have used all these link roads, and then they are on the Bogatanga highway from Kamina onwards, and it makes the journey very easy. I think they should be taking a very critical look at some of these things.
Interesting.
Right. Shawana, thank you so much. We hope that you keep an eye on this issue, and then whenever there's an update, you bring us up to speed on that. Thank you so much for speaking with us. So that was our Northern Regional Correspondent Shawana Yusuf bringing us, who filed the report, actually bringing us all the little details that we may have missed in the reports on the state of the Kanvili Kpawumo Road in the Tamale North Metropolis. Philip, it's
Interesting one. I'm just praying that now that the MP for the area, Al-Hassan Suhini, has been given that mandate to be the Deputy Roads Minister. Someone would say that charity begins at home, so you have to watch your home, so you have to take something back home.
They'll really be looking forward to him for some improvement in the area. You know, I feel the plight of people when their homes get flooded. I experienced it once, and mine was not even by virtue of the fact that rain like there was an overflow of rain rush into my room, but I forgot to close my window and I had rainwater entering. Look, it was terrible. It was such a terrible experience for me.
Just to think of maybe a whole house.
Yes. So imagine, after that experience, look, I appreciate the issues of flooding even much better because I've lived the experience, and it's nothing to, I don't know, feel good about. So to think that people have lived there for 5 years and over, and every time the rainy season comes, they have no option than to stay and scoop the rainwater out of their rooms and then try to find. Look, it's not a very pleasant experience.
One of
that
the
anybody should go
interviewees,
through.
and Shawana was also talking about, is that she came there for work.
Yeah.
If not for that, she wouldn't have been in that area. So if the authorities, I like the spirit of the Deputy Roads Minister, that they've taken note of it, and they've taken note of other roads in his constituency, and for the greater Tamale area, they are trying to also fix roads. I think it's very important because if these things are done, like Shawana was also saying, you wouldn't use the stretch that is traffic prone. You would use inner roads and try and bypass the traffic and all that.
To even make your journey shorter.
Very short. Travel time is very important because if you, like I was saying earlier, if you stay in gridlock for a very long time, it affects your productivity at work. You get to work and you are actually tired because you've been in traffic for a very long time, coupled with the fact that you are driving on a bumpy road or a very deplorable road. So I think if the Deputy Roads Minister, that is the MP for the area, really wants to deal with this, he has to deal with it as soon as possible. I believe it will be done with the big push from the current administration, and we are expecting that by the end of the day, it should be done. The roads in that area should be done. If I were the MP, I would have done it. I would have done it. Because you see, I'm in Parliament because of my constituents. If my constituents vote against me, I won't be here to be a Deputy Roads Minister. So everything I need to do for my people back, I will.
Well, Philip, he has assured them and he's giving them their word. So let's just give him the time, and then most definitely we'll keep an eye on it to make sure that we hold him accountable to his words.
And they should try that the contractors won't do a shoddy work.
That is also another conversation to have. That's also another conversation, because we see contracts awarded to contractors and then 2 months, 3 months, or even a year, and you're seeing potholes even bigger than when the road was not even constructed. And you're asking, how was the work done? Wasn't there any sort of supervision when the construction was ongoing? We need to do better as a country.